Hey you, it's me again, your mom. Another chapter of my life has come to an end. Today, I move out of this apartment. I had originally moved here right after my 25th birthday. And for almost 2 years now, this has been the place that I've called my home. Not just for me, but for your dad, Katie, Kobe, Cody, and even Kygo. This apartment holds so many memories. A lot of good memories and a lot of not so good memories. They all happened here in this tiny box. Strangely enough, I'm not emotional or crying because I'm going to miss this place or even this chapter of my life. This is the last connection to your dad that I have. And for weeks now, I have been miserably living here. And I felt that way ever since the last time I saw your dad. After that day, this apartment became daunting to me. I'm relieved. Right now, if I'm being honest with you, I don't want to be reminded of him anymore. I never want to think about him or see your dad again. I want to be as far away from that person and all of his family as possible. I have come to realize I never knew your dad. At best, the person I shared the last 3 years with was just a distorted version of him, a figment of my imagination, my naiveness, and ultimately, my insecurities. I'm emotional and I'm crying because I'm steps away from being free again. The red string of fate between me and your dad, it's officially cut. We won't ever cross paths again. Once I walk out the door to this apartment, we can definitely start the rest of our lives together as a family, a real family. Your dad reached out to me last week. He reached out because he was concerned. He's been watching these videos I made for you. And he made it clear he doesn't like how I'm expressing myself to you. In his eyes and in his mind, I am supposed to fake a happy pregnancy. I am supposed to lie. I am supposed to pretend. Are doing those things going to make me a good mom in your eyes one day? I don't think there's a woman out there in the world who wishes to ever experience something so special like their first pregnancy, feeling isolated, depressed, guilty, and vulnerable. It was not my choice to be a single pregnant woman or a single mother. Your dad made those choices for me. My childhood friends, my college friends, my estranged family have all willingly and voluntarily stepped up in place of your dad. Some have flown across the country already. Some are moving across the country. Some jumping through hoops, all for the sake of a healthy and happier pregnancy moving forward. All for your sake, for your quality of life, for your happiness. Your dad, he chose himself a long time ago, his own life, and ultimately his family, his real family. Your dad, your biological dad, and his family have not contributed in any shape or form besides degrading me and breaking me down emotionally one last time before disappearing. I wish your dad had never reached out to me. I can easily replace you and find someone way better than you. Your dad told me this the night I broke up with him. I was already pregnant with you. You were already sleeping in my belly the night that our lives changed forever. And I had no idea. During this moving process, I have been finding myself lost in thought at times. Like, what would have happened if I had known sooner I was pregnant? Would that fight still have occurred? Would it be me and him right now moving in together? Would his parents even be happy for us? Would the last few weeks be even just a little less painful? Would I be getting to experience a happy ending for the first time in my life? Or would he still have abandoned you? Although these are some of the questions crossing my mind the last few days, I'm kind of relieved I didn't get to experience any of those alternate realities. I'm happy you gave me the strength that night to do what was right for my own mental health, because in the grand scheme of things, I think we are better off without him right now. No matter how many scenarios I create in my head or how things could have played out for you, in the end, I think it would have turned out, if not similar to our current reality, if not simply much more painful for you. I spent the last year really struggling with my mental health, even before I was pregnant with you. Your dad, he became really good at emotionally breaking me down, degrading my humanity at any given opportunity that he felt justified in doing so. I spent majority of this year alone, just turning the other cheek from your dad. He made me believe I was never going to be good enough, that I was the problem and solely the problem, that no matter how hard I worked to overcome my own obstacles alone, no matter how successful I may become, no matter how much I myself dedicated to him, at the first given opportunity, I would become his enemy again. He was gonna throw me under the bus. The person who hated me the most was your dad. I can find someone better than you. Those words stung. I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will fall madly in love with someone who is everything and more. I have known for a while I was never going to be that for your dad. I never had the confidence as a woman to think I was anything special. Now that I think about it, your dad never, ever told me he was proud of me. I'm surprised with so much overt hate he had for me and that he expressed towards me, that he didn't cheat on me throughout our relationship. no matter how much I loved your dad at the time, he was simply asking for way too much from me. Your dad and his family felt he deserved to be treated like a king, regardless. And unfortunately, there was no way I would voluntarily continue disrespecting myself any further by succumbing to your dad's wishes. It quickly became a one-sided relationship between him and I. And realizing that and making my final decision, I lost a part of me letting him go. But I gained something even better than him, and that was you. You have already given me more love than I've ever experienced from anyone else in my life. And for the first time ever, I'm in love. I'm in love with you. And I will always choose you, and you only, over and over again. In the grand scheme of things, I hope he is somewhere right now with someone who is better than me and is everything that I'm not. I don't want to be better than any other woman. I never aspired to be someone's true love or the perfect woman for a man. I never aspired to be anything more than just a good person towards others. There have been moments in the past year when dealing with my own depression where I questioned simply my purpose in this world. As I was gradually losing my self-worth, I began to question my own existence. Could I really be of service to others if I've only been doing myself a disservice recently? My spirit feels at ease. I feel happier and less anxious. It feels like I can finally breathe again. I haven't felt this sense of relief in such a long time. For a moment, I wasn't sure what my next step was going to be or how I was even going to get there. As the days were going by, I was growing more and more desperate and worried. But again, thanks to my mom, here we are. Katie, Cody, and Kobe all look a lot happier. My dream for a while was to be able to have all of our dogs under the same roof. Not in an apartment, but in a home. A home with a backyard where they can run free and just be happy dogs. And soon enough, you'll be running free range around this house with them. And I'll be here watching you all from the kitchen window. I read that sleeping on your back isn't really good to do during pregnancy. So the last couple of weeks, I've been trying to train myself and forcing myself to sleep on my left side. But I end up waking up extremely stiff in the morning. Sometimes, depending on what side I sleep on for most of the night, by the time the morning comes around, I'm completely numb on that side. I don't really know if that's normal. Have you noticed how big your mom's belly is getting? It's you. You're growing inside of me sooner than I expected, actually. All of my favorite leggings officially don't go over my belly anymore. I wasn't expecting to get so round and fluffy so soon. I told myself I won't spend unnecessary money on maternity clothes unless it's an actual necessity. So instead, I have opted to wear all my one-piece jumpsuits in the meanwhile as my uniform for the time being, for as long as possible, or until I just can't fit them anymore. I even purchased duplicates in case I can't keep up with washing the same 2 pair repeatedly throughout the week. Do you notice anything else different about your mom besides me slowly turning into a marshmallow? If you don't, it's okay. I'll tell you. I also got a haircut and dyed my hair a little bit darker. I thought I would look more prettier to you this way. Although I'm still trying to figure out my crazy wavy hair and how to make it look presentable. So please bear with me and my frizziness. Oh, I also started getting my eyelashes done again. I used to love getting them done when I was younger. And then I kind of just stopped. I thought it would be a good idea, not only to help make me feel better about myself, but because I could start practicing now on how to cut time down while I'm getting ready in the morning, or when you come home with me one day. I have no intentions of letting myself go any further than I probably already have so far in this pregnancy. I don't have any goals to be a MILF in the future, but I don't want to lose my identity, even if I am going to be a full-time mom for the rest of my life. I moved to the suburbs. The house is a bit older compared to others in the neighborhood, so there is a stark difference compared to where we were living before. Even so, the neighborhood is really great. I even noticed a few daycares minutes away from the house. Oh, and there's a park walking distance too. My neighbors came to introduce themselves when we were first moving in. They even say good morning over their fence every day. It feels like I'm in a different world living out here. This is where you live when you want to raise a family. Otherwise, I don't think I would be living here without you. I grew up in a small town where everyone knew each other, everyone grew up with each other, and nothing out of the ordinary usually ever happened. By the time I was finishing high school, I felt suffocated. I felt like I was living in a bubble and wanted to get as far away from that place as possible. And now here I am, at 26, across the country, back to what feels like square one, getting ready to raise my first child in the suburbs. I worry, and I wonder, will this lifestyle make you feel suffocated the same way it did to me growing up? Now that I'm older, I think I found a new appreciation for this change of pace. I never really did go out around my old neighborhood. My anxiety was so bad, I struggled to leave my apartment sometimes. I didn't mind because the city life atmosphere didn't make me feel alone, even if I was inside all day. Here, it's quiet. It's almost too quiet. The air, it even smells different. And this is still technically LA. Waking up to the peacefulness and the quiet streets where only the birds can be heard faintly chirping outside your window. This is our new normal. I gotta get back to work. Even work has felt different for me. It no longer feels part of a goal I have to accomplish for the day. It no longer feels like a competition with myself and productivity. I feel somewhat more ambition and determined to be the best at even the tiniest tasks that I do day to day. I feel more motivated now than I ever did before. You're doing so much for me and you aren't even here yet. How did I get so lucky? Me and the dogs have built a morning routine with one another. They spend most of the mornings outside while I'm upstairs working. It's a good feeling knowing I don't have to worry about them too much now that we have all this extra space around. They're happy being outside with one another, just doing their own thing. This has probably been the biggest upside for me since moving. My dogs finally have a yard of their own to just run around freely as they want. And when they are needy, they come inside on their own accord and spend time with me by my desk. It feels like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders because before, I had to worry about being able to get my dogs outside as much as possible. And with everything going on recently before the move, they weren't seeing much of outside at all. I couldn't bring myself to walk around my old neighborhood anymore. I was in constant worry that I was going to be seen or run into your dad's family, so I just stopped going on walks. During that time period, I know how wrong I was as a dog owner for doing that to them. Much like kids, dogs thrive off of a steady and consistent schedule, and I had just went and turned the few daily joys of their day-to-day lives and just completely cut it off for them. So now that we have a large enough backyard, I am making up for lost time with them and spending any of my downtime during my workday outside with them. I am a bit slower now that my belly's getting bigger, but the dogs seem to have some understanding I'm going through some type of change, So they are more gentler and patient with me as you continue to grow inside of me. Lately, I have been into honey lemon ginger tea in the mornings. I have been making a couple of cups throughout my days since moving in. There is a cute little lemon tree growing in the backyard that I've been picking the lemons from to make my day-to-day cups. My appetite isn't really all there at times still. I am eating for two now, but I can barely eat for one at times. I think it's a combination of just getting so busy throughout the day and just not feeling hungry that I typically go hours or majority of the day with having little to no food. Your grandma, she's been continuously reminding me to eat. Eat even if I don't want to, for your baby's sake. My mom, well, she notices everything, so she's definitely noticed that I haven't been eating enough. I'm not eating enough for one, and I'm definitely not eating enough for the both of us. Every evening, she'll be in the kitchen for hours after coming home from work just to meal prep and cut up fruits for me to have ready for the next day. Your grandma, she's been putting a lot of effort into ensuring I have as healthy of a pregnancy as I possibly can have. And at times, I think to myself that my mom may actually be more invested into this pregnancy than even I am. I am thankful for my mom. She's been filling in the gaps and being the partner that I don't have to help me. She's been helping me both emotionally and physically. I can see how tired she is when she comes home from the end of her workday, but she still takes all this time to meal prep for me. She still cooks for me every night. She still helps me get my laundry done and get my dogs ready for the end of our day. I look at her in awe. I feel so exhausted all the time now, and I'm barely reaching halfway through my own pregnancy. And yet, my mom is still doing it all. Sometimes I think to myself, how am I going to survive the remaining of the weeks if I didn't have my mom around? My mom, she's been in my shoes before, but she genuinely had no one to help her out when she was pregnant with me. So how does she do it? And how is she still doing it for me? How is she still doing it for me? How is she still doing it for me even 27 years later? That's incredible. My fatigue is growing. I get tired and winded more easily. I feel like I'm always gasping for air too. It's getting harder for me not to admit defeat. Although throughout the weeks I've had moments of empowerment and doing things on my own, it can really break you down emotionally at times. I don't want to be tired and taking naps all the time, but sometimes I can't help it. I'm tired. I just want to rest for a few hours. But I sometimes don't want to give myself that luxury because I feel like I'm not deserving of it. I feel like I have it easier than most right now. I think about that a lot, and I try to use it to encourage me to complete my responsibilities for the day. If I don't hold myself accountable with these daily reminders, then I feel like I'm just milking my pregnancy. At least that's how I've been looking at things. I never knew how sensitive and vulnerable pregnancy could be for a woman. The saying grows truer for me day by day. You never really do forget about how people treated you during your pregnancy. My mom, my stepdad, and my friends who have been there for me and offered themselves and their time to help me as much as they can when they really don't have any obligation to. I don't think I will ever forget those moments or these people. And I feel forever in debt to all of you. No woman goes into pregnancy wanting to do things alone. But some of us, we have to. Not for our sakes, but for our baby's sake. That's how I have to look at things from now on. I wasn't joking when I said earlier I've only been wearing the same 2 jumpsuits around the house. It's not like I go anywhere, at least besides the dog park. It seems like soon enough, if my belly keeps growing this fast, I will need to buy a size up in these jumpsuits. It's the easiest thing for me to throw on and wear, whether I'm home lounging around, working from home, or even going to run errands. I just want to be comfortable in my own skin during these body changes. So if that means I must wear jumpsuits for the remaining time being pregnant, I will. Maybe I will just pick up some more colors so it doesn't seem like I'm either re-wearing the same clothes or going days without changing. Because I swear, we do shower every day. The girls want to come out to play. They're full. This is too much for me. I'm too tiny. The girls are getting big. Baby's getting big. The weeks are going by so fast. And remember before I said I want to take care of myself moving forward? Well, let's just call my first trimester my prenatal depression era. I want to finish my first trimester and head into my second trimester with my pregnancy glow-up era. I'm calling my second trimester my pregnancy glow-up era because I just want to feel good in my own skin, not only as a pregnant woman, but as a single pregnant woman and a single mom. And I don't want to be made to feel bad about it either, regardless of the circumstances. I haven't really been open about this subject because, well, quite frankly, I don't like the negative connotation the society puts on the label of a single mother. I never knew the implications of being a single mother. I never knew about the negative connotations of being one, especially a young single mom. The first time I felt and experienced the negative connotations of being a single mother was very early on. I'm still not even a single mom. I'm just a single pregnant woman, technically. It was actually the last time I saw your dad. He kind of threw it in my face, and not in a really nice way either. He made it seem like I was going to be undesirable, unwanted, that no one is ever going to want to date me or even take me seriously. I was shocked. I have been so worried at that point about what kind of mom I was going to be. How can I prepare during my pregnancy? Will my baby be healthy? What would you look like? And your dad was here talking to me about dating. It just felt strange. How can my mind even go there now or any time in the near future? Especially not back then when I first found out I was pregnant. I'm gonna be a mom. I'm gonna be a mom really soon. I thought it was strange and just completely unnecessary, but it still hurt the way he was expressing himself. Even before I was pregnant, I never thought I was attractive or desirable to begin with. I felt lucky to even just have a boyfriend when I met your dad. But now, after that conversation, I felt a little undesirable and unattractive because I know what people on the outside looking in are probably labeling me as when they see me alone. But they don't know me, and they don't know you. They don't know what an amazing kid I think you're going to be. I already think you're going to be something special, not only to me, but to a lot of people one day. I remember telling your dad in my rebuttal, I'd rather die being a single mother if it means being a good mother to my child. That's all that matters to me. We made it to the end of our first trimester together. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for choosing me as your mom. And thank you for not giving up on me. I said I wasn't going to start crying for this part, but I'm excited to turn the next page with you. This chapter seems like it's going by fast. I'm nervous and anxious, scared. I don't take these moments for granted, and I pray every night we can stay together. I feel really lucky to have even made it this far with you. Thank you.